I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth rightly well. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth rightly well. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth rightly well.
Welcome back. I have Liberty and Baby Moed who occasionally join me, but that's that. So, December holiday, we traveled to Rusape, specifically where my mom stays, and we were trying to have an appreciation of what sustainable living is and what we can learn. So, we went to a low chemical interference farm. And what that means is they're using chemicals, but not as much as they would in a commercial farm that's purely conventional. They try and implement organic methods of dealing with pests and also of fertilizing their crops. Then we went to Sim's homestead, which he shared to us that it was organic, and that was in Domboshava. We then visited a homestead as well in the high density suburb of Ziwarasekwa, where we had been in about 2022 thereabout. It was brown and dry. The last time we went, it was so green and thriving. But anyway, climate change. So we were just going around trying to see what we can learn in our local context, what can be applicable, and all that stuff. So, as I do this, I'd want to share that these are entirely my views. I shared with the people that I will be taking videos. However, what I share in this video are my views and what I've learned going around, and this is what I'm going to share. So I think the first thing is that the fact that I'm sharing what I believe in, and this is what I told the people, that freedom, speaks to what sustainability guilds are all about. That there are communities where people can love each other in diversity, giving each other freedom and the space to express ourselves according to the dictates of our conscience. It is true that there may be exceptions to this rule, but a great number of people in such communities realize the importance of allowing the individual to make decisions that are best for them. It comes as no surprise that during the pandemic, while others were for the mandate, a good number of them felt that one must be allowed to decide based on the unique features of the amazing human body. In fact, those that were Christians felt that as faithful stewards, it was their responsibility to make informed decisions and act according to their conscience as God impressed upon their hearts. Therefore, looking ahead, I noticed that genuine sustainability lovers, while lobbying for government protection on our valuable wetlands, wildlife, and indigenous trees, will not force or coerce others to go against what their conscience convicts them, whether or not it is reasonable to them. They will realize that lobbying for climate Sundays might be a good idea, however, with devastating effects, especially later calling for the death of dissidents to this mandate, thus striking at the very heart of the essence of sustainability, which is love. Love for fellow humanity, love for the earth for which we tend. Secondly, I learned that local is lekker. The goal in sustainable living is to make use of what is readily available and easily accessible to you. This would suggest to me that people of different economic bearing have the capacity to practice sustainability in their context to meet their needs. The test is subjective, yet very objective and effective. It makes you pause in awe of the condensation of Christ. that he reaches each individual personally, anywhere, everywhere in the world. He becomes local. In our little corners, we all have had a personal touch from God. Regardless of our social standing, his kingly arm has been stretched out with relentless effort. He has pursued us. He has pursued me, pursued you, and he still is. Our culture, African, American, pop, even permaculture, is no excuse for not accepting him. He loves you, your individuality, your uniqueness, and he is calling you to represent him best as he is revealed to you. True, the law will be the standard for judgment. However, when God looks at our obedience to the law, he sees motive, a limit earthly judges have. It will not be what did Mara do versus what Moed or you did. Rather, it will be, did I, the Lord, not do enough for you, insert your name, to show you that I love you and my law is in your best interest and not your oppression. You see, just like sustainability, God's law is not there to make our life difficult. When sustainable people say plastics, pesticides, pollution is not the best for you, they are not trying to oppress you. Rather, what they are saying is, we love you, we care about your health, and these things cause damage to your life and your health by bringing cancer. Here is a way out. When we view God through that lens, the correct lens of love, we cannot miss that He is a caring Father who will go over and above for us. You see, the majority of sustainable living human beings realize that majority does not equate to right. Sustainabilians, as I call them, are people who are not afraid to stand alone. In fact, a number of them have been standing alone in their families. This, of course, is the third lesson, that there are people who are not afraid to stand alone, and majority does not equate to being right. They've been standing alone in their families, their workplaces, churches, and have been there firm as a rock to impart change. Fanatic, uptight, dramatic, zealous are adjectives that have been prefixed to their names for so long, and yet they remain unmoved. Now, with the change in weather patterns, it seems a lot more people are coming on board with the issue to do with the climate and the environment. The critical observer, the keen onlooker, questions why. Excited? Yes, they are. We are excited because this is the change we've always wanted. But why now? My politicians have an ulterior motive. Is it because we've lobbied more? Do the lawmakers realize the extent for which the laws they cry out for might reach? Will dissidents be prejudiced if they do not accept these? These are questions that they should not neglect to ask, because they wonder, if they've stood alone for so long, why the change now? You know, something that comes to mind is the trial night right before Christ is crucified. Echoes from the Pharisees are heard even today. It is right to kill this one man in order to save the nation. Is it really right to kill a wrong person in order to save the nation? Rather, should not the principles that we stand up for speak up for themselves? The advantage is seen by all and emulated then. Trouble indeed must come, but woe to the man by which it comes. And so, having learnt all these things, I still question, why are people coming on board now? Is it because the crisis is greater? But potentially, might there be a crisis that's looming ahead of time? I thoroughly enjoyed my trip during the holidays, and I just end this video with a few questions that have also been bombarding my mind that I'm seeking to study more on. And I'll share what my findings will be in a separate video, probably, with regards to all this. But I guess what specifically excites me is the fact that I have found a community of people that allow people to be themselves, even if they don't necessarily agree with who they are. And that's the essence of heaven for me, because, God does not force, He knows what's right for us, but He doesn't force Himself on us, which is why He did not kill the devil the moment He did whatever He did. He allowed him the space to prove his claims, and He's been allowing him for so long. And so that makes me happy. And even now, the fact that we have people that don't believe in God is because God does not force Himself on people. If He did, He would have programmed us as robots to just worship Him, because He has the power to do that. But He says, you do you, feel free. And so that's the first thing. Second of all, I enjoyed the fact that we use what is locally accessible to us. And yeah, with the restriction that we have on funds, that appeals to me a lot, that probably in the near future we can find ways to use what we have to the best of our ability, and also that God then becomes a personal savior that reaches each of us. And the third lesson that I shared was that these people are people who are not afraid to stand against the tide. They don't try and fit in. They're happy with being weird, with being different, and that speaks volumes to me. I've always been a person who wants to stand for what they believe in, regardless of the consequences, if that makes sense. So I don't want to go out seeking trouble to say, hey, I am different. Do you want to come for me? No. But should trouble find me, by the grace of God, I want to stand and say, look, this is what I believe in. I'm resolute about it. And whatever the Lord convicts me to be right, that's what I want to do. And so this group of people encourages me in a world where we're being overtaken by things that want to think for us, in a world where we are being taught how to think and programmed. It's encouraging to find people that are saying, we still want to discover what truth is. We still want to discover solutions for ourselves. Yes, we appreciate and embrace technology as help and tools, but it is not to overtake the value of a human and what we should be doing as individuals. So we create solutions in our context, your art in nature, in communion with it, and trying to find out what to learn from it. So this is such a wonderful experience for me and for us. And I hope that we will share our journey occasionally, but I hope we'll be able to share and learn more things. So if you have any places you think we can visit locally, please do share. I'll be so excited to see them. And if you have any tips for newbies on the block, please feel free as well. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and may God bless you. Think and reflect on what He reveals to us. And I'll really be glad to hear your reflections on the matter as well. Thank you, and may God bless you. Bye. There we go. Thank you.
That's good. Hey, continue playing.
Massive. That's his first fruit. It is more than 50.